Now making his way out to the blue corner. This is Mattia Hovorka.
It's interesting because you were talking about the corner of Jamie. They're going to have to do a full 360 and come on back out, which is always tricky. Sometimes you hope your fighters are staggered on a card where there's a few fights in between, at least once. You can get back there, walk out with your fighter, warm them up. But when you have a team deep like Adrenaline, you know that there's guys back there getting them ready to come on out. So the corner, Mark Hominick and Sam Stout just kind of circling right back around to come in with Matty.
Yeah, and you want to talk about having a corner. You look at Mark Hominick and Sam Stout, and there is near 40 UFC appearances over on that side. Throw Chris Clements in, a trainer in that gym as well, and I think you get to that number. These two guys just by themselves were pioneers in terms of putting Canadian mixed martial arts on the map, and their protege tonight, Matty Mad Dog Hovorka, 0-1 as a pro. His loss comes to Daryl St. Rose in September 2017. He was 7-6 as an amateur, but he won 4 of his last 5, and he split them. 2 by knockout, 2 by submission. The Mad Dog is aptly named.
I mean, he's got a black belt in Taekwondo. He's boxing, a kickboxing and jiu-jitsu background. So, I mean, you're putting that all together for quite a bit of danger. 15 amateur fights coming in and sitting at 0-1 as a professional.
And I have seen Matty Hovorka as a kickboxer, as an amateur mixed martial artist, and in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitions. He is everywhere you can get a fight.
And his opponent, making his way out to the red corner, this is Matt Haskell.
The local boys are getting big reactions tonight. Matt Haskell making his way out. This is his professional debut, but he was very successful on the amateur ranks. Haskell is a dangerous fighter, and he's going to be a very tough out for the Mad Dog.
Yeah, and it's interesting. He was talking about how the last time he did fight in a kickboxing expo, and he's like, but it was kind of underground, it was kind of this, it was, you know, and there's all of these. And that's what you find when you dig deep into the history. You see, you know, there's a lot of this underground smokers, quote-unquote, fight club, you know, where you're gaining some experience. Because sometimes it's tricky, whether fighters pull out or there's just not enough events around you. So fighting out of Lakeshore, which is just basically Windsor adjacent, is just kind of right outside. Done some fights, you know, is crossed the border, and that's the advantage, right, of the Windsor-Essex area, is people get an opportunity to cross and take advantage of Michigan being right there. But this is, I don't know, how did they match make based on names? Our first fight of the night was Justin and Justin. We've got Matty and Matty.
I'm going to have a talk with our matchmakers, Alex Caparici and Woodrow James, 2 of the best.
This is what they do. They're matching their records and their names. Like, that's a tricky job.
And I'm pretty sure they did that to us on purpose. No,
yeah.
It just feels that way sometimes as announcers. But the interesting part with Matt Haskell is that he was very difficult to do background on because, as you said, Kara, there's some fights in his record that, do they count, do they not count? Even as an amateur, it was kind of underground, so was it official, was it not official? What we know is he was very successful in those fights, and he's a very dangerous striker who is going to put everything on the line here in his professional debut. He wants to win in front of what is a hometown crowd.
Here we go, Prospect Fight fans. The following featherweight contest is scheduled for 3 rounds and being brought to you by Bello Metal Recycling, Carlissimo Steel Limited, and Rycor Countertops. Introducing your fighters first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed in gray. Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, he weighed in at 144 pounds. He comes to the cage representing Adrenaline Training Center, looking for his first professional victory tonight with a record of 0-1. Fighting out of and representing Woodstock, Ontario, ladies and gentlemen, here is Matty Mad Dog Delco Hovorka. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed in red. Standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, he weighed in at 144.4 pounds. He comes to the cage representing Hybrid Training Academy for his professional debut fight tonight. Fighting out of and representing Lakeshore, Ontario, ladies and gentlemen, here is Matt the H-Bomb Haskell. Referee Patrick Goulart with fight instruction.
All right, gentlemen, listen to my command at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. If you wish to touch gloves, do so now.
Come on, Matty.
Here we go, fight fans. This Prospect Fighting Championship matchup will be decided in 3 rounds or less.
This is quite the fight. Haskell and Hovorka. Haskell in the black trimmed with red. Hovorka in the all black. And our referee, Patrick, an extensive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. So you got 3 very capable guys in the cage in this one.
Oh, and just the way, I was just going to say, the way Matty Hovorka is sitting in the pocket and flat-footed in terms of putting everything into those shots, this is going to end quick.
Oh, and it does!
Yeah,
Matty Hovorka.
It's rare that you see someone sit down on their shot so heavily where their body is lowered, their feet are almost flat, and they're just rocking their knees in for additional power. Those are heavy shots to be on the receiving end of a 4-ounce glove. I mean, it was super intense. Matty Hovorka just sitting in the pocket and being comfortable, just sit there and land those heavy blows.
That first punch dropped him. Haskell was able to bounce back from that momentarily, but as Hovorka rolled him over, it was the barrage of elbows that came down. And oh my goodness, Matt Haskell is in some difficulty in the cage right now.
Yeah, I think after that first flurry, he was already out. And at that point, you know, it wasn't surprising that the end was coming as quickly as it did. This is the problem. When you come out to a fight and you think, I'm going to feel somebody out, I'm going to check my range, I'm going to jab and move, you can get into problems with someone who will sit down on their shots heavy like that.
So Matt Haskell, he's going to get the best treatment you can, though, with Dr. Faisal Rahman in the cage right now. And Haskell coming around. Back up to his knees. But that was quite the power performance from Matty Hovorka. It's good to see Haskell coming around, though, Kara. It looks like he's going to be all right. Best here to take it slowly, give him a little bit of space, let the doctors have a few minutes with him just to make sure everything is where it needs to be.
Yeah, and this is tough for crowds that are just coming to support local athletes. They're not used to MMA. It's a different feel, you know, when you have to witness something like this. For most of us that have been in the boxing or MMA scene, we're more familiar with it, but it's nice that they have so many, you know, doctors and commission in there making sure everything's okay.
And those are the ones that are extremely tough to call as announcers, because for us, normally on a knockout, you like to get excited. You like to get up about those type of things. But when you can immediately see Matt Haskell is in distress, it almost doesn't feel right to do it in that moment. You got to give all the credit in the world to Matty Hovorka for what he was able to do tonight. Come out in a flash performance, get the big win. But this is great to see that Matt Haskell's sitting up. He's obviously responsive. It looks like everything is going to come around here. Just time needed for Haskell to get everything back around.
Well, and I think Matty coming out here, Hovorka, with a record of 0-1, he's probably wanting to say, this is not who I am. I am not an 0-1 fighter. I'm coming to prove a point tonight. I don't care who's stepping up in front of me. I am going to end it so people fear me after this point, despite, you know, coming into this at 0-1.
Well, I think he sent the message. And that's one thing I've known about Matty Hovorka for a long time. He is an extremely heavy hitter. And that's just amazing sportsmanship on the part of Matt Haskell right there. He got up off his stool and made a beeline to the Mad Dog.
But I mean, if anyone is going to face Hovorka in the future, that tells you everything you need to know right there. It tells you can't just sit there and bang with him. You're going to come out and you're going to keep your space, you're going to keep your range, and do not let him get set. And that's exactly, if I had any fighters that were going to face him, I would say, you're not getting set against this guy because he will plant his feet and he will put
Ladies and
everything through
gentlemen.
these shots.
Big round of applause, please, for both of the fighters, ladies and gentlemen.
And you look at Mattia Hovorka at 145 pounds, the size of the hands on a fighter of that size.
This contest came to a halt at 19 minutes of the first and 19 seconds of the first and final round. For your winner by devastating knockout, Matty Mad Dog Delco Hovorka.
All right, Matty, congratulations. You came into this fight looking like you had something to prove. You weren't backing down. You just stood there, sat on your shots, and brought some heavy leather. Is this the intention coming into this fight tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a pretty bad record as an amateur. I think that doesn't really show who I am as a person. Like, competing-wise, it's not who I am at all. This is who I am. I train with the best fighters in the world, like Mark, Sam, Malcolm. Malcolm's a 125-pound champion for TKO. I'm here, I mean business, and that's a 145. I'm not a 145er, look at me. I dropped down to 135. I'm gonna be trouble for that entire division, period. I hit hard. Team Tompkins, baby, woo!
Well, I think you definitely sent that message tonight for the future people facing you to fear you. Tell me who you have to thank for tonight.
Malcolm, he was a big part of my camp. Mark, of course. We did pads every day, trained every day. Jiu-jitsu coaches Jesse, Goff, Sam for holding pads. Everybody, sparring partners, Gino. I think adrenaline. Adrenaline's the best training on 519 for sure.
I know it's bittersweet. It's exciting to get the KO. It's tough when someone gets hurt. How do you feel right now? How excited are you?
I feel really good. That was for you, baby. I hope you're watching that in Collingwood.
Congratulations.